Hello, I'm Carrie and I'm back with another pick a card reading. So this time the topic is how do you best learn? And I thought about this topic because when I was going through or like first beginning my spiritual journey, it would have been so valuable for me to understand and learn like how it was that I learned best. And of course we can talk about like book smart stuff, but I'm talking about how do you learn lessons, like spiritual lessons the best. If I would have known that, I think I would have been, and we say shoulda, woulda, coulda, but it would have been helpful for me to understand why I went through some things. If I would have understood better how I learned and how I couldn't, like my journey can be like no one else's because I learned differently than other people. And how I need, the things that I need for like to be around me and surrounding me as I am learning. The types of people I need in my life, like types of teachers, etc. And so I wanted to do this reading to just basically give you an idea of how it is that you learn, and maybe it will help you while you're on your spiritual journey, understanding better why some of the things come into your life, some of the people are in your life, and recognizing who some of the teachers are in your life. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your likes and subscribes, comments, all of that. I just appreciate your energy. And I just want to start. We've got 3 different piles. So pile 1 here, pile 2, and pile 3. Let's get started with pile 1. So I am using the archetype cards from Caroline Miss. Just going to give me a brief look into who you are and how you best learn. This is going to answer that question, and then we'll get some clarifying cards from a different deck. So for you, pile 1, Angel, that's how you learn. That's the answer to the question. Light attribute says helping those in need with no expectation of return. I love it. So pile 1, and I want to zoom in a little bit here. This is interesting. I was talking about earlier, and if you didn't listen to the intro, I'll just say the reason I wanted to do this reading was because it's very helpful to know and understand the ways that you learn, because it helps you understand who the people are in your life, and while you're on this journey, like understanding who your teachers are, like how are you learning, how are you best receiving information, and why is it that you had to go through some of these things? It's because you needed to learn, but the way in which you learn is going to dictate the lessons that you are put through. And so for you, I have Angel, and I love this for you, Pile 1, because it seems like some people might just randomly pop up in your life and give you these like lessons or these things for you to chew on or think about. It might just literally be something that you meet a random person one day and they like say something profound, and you can't get it out of your head, and you have to like go and even like do some research about it, like this saying. They said that the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. But what did they mean by that? Because when they said it to me, just something sparked in my mind. They you could have had someone like literally tell you about a city, like you just maybe they got back from some travels and you were overhearing someone tell a story about Egypt and how they went and how it was so amazing and how they had some of the best times ever and the people there were so great, or whatever the story is that they tell, and you can't get that out of your mind. It's like, you know what, I never thought about Egypt like that before. I think maybe I need to go there. So you might have random people, literally somebody in the grocery store, you're having a bad day and they walk up and they hug you, and you're like, wow, that hug completely changed my life. Like, I was having a bad day, but I feel so good now. How is it possible that somebody can do that for me? How can I feel so good? How can I hug? How can I receive a hug in that way? And it's going to make you like start looking up and understanding better energy and how energy works and how energy exchange works. So for you, Pile 1, it's interesting because I get this reading of like, that's how you learn. Random people coming into your life, like literally like guardian angels coming through and teaching you and like orienting your mind to new things. But I feel like you learn in this way because you are like that for others as well, or you will be working to be like that. So either you're like that now, or you're going to be like that after you've learned or gone through your lesson. It's hard to tell with pile number 1 because I feel like a lot of times pile number 1, you're the beginners. So you're the ones who are maybe just starting, or you're the ones who had already started. So we're kind of like going back around already and starting over in the cycle. If that makes any sense to you, hopefully it does. You're either, again, just beginning to have people come into your life like this, or beginning to notice this is how you learn, or you are beginning to start over in the cycle and you're going to be the teacher. So you are the angel in people's lives. But basically, you learn by randomly having people come and show you things, like introduce you to things. But it's always a brief introduction. It's not like you're sitting and you're having a whole class and a whole lesson and it's like, okay, part one, lesson one. We're going to begin here. Okay, one, lesson two. It's not like you're going to be, your hand won't be held in this. It's just like a brief introduction, like a flash for you to kind of help you remember and orient yourself towards something that you're interested in, that maybe the people around you are not interested in, and that you haven't even like tapped into. It's like, whoa, they just said something about, what's those rocks over there? I'm thinking about holy places. The rocks that stand up in the middle of nowhere that I can't think of the name of. They said something about that. Whoa. Maybe I need to look that up and plan a trip there. What about the Galapagos Islands? They always talk about that. Darwin was really inspired there. Maybe I should go there and get inspired. What about Thailand? You know, like people just coming around and telling you about their experiences. They're not even trying to convince you of anything, but you can just feel the joy and you're like, whoa, I think I'm resonating with that. I want to go look into that for myself. I want to look into this concept of attraction. Because this person was talking about how they manifested and attracted this. Let me look into that for myself. You know what I mean? Like these are people who are just gonna like spark your mind, spark your memory. Angels are just gonna show up for you basically. And of course they can be anybody. Anybody could be an angel for you and you experiencing that. Like they can say one sentence or do one small thing, give you a cup of coffee when you are really down on your luck and you're like, I know I can't afford my coffee, but oof, I really could use some coffee today. I'm tired. But I know I said I was saving money. And somebody comes and gives you a cup of coffee. And it's exactly how you like it. You're like, how? Wow, what is this? How is the universe so amazing? Let me know and understand that it's okay for me to have my cup of coffee. That maybe it may come through different ways and different channels and attributes. And all I have to do is trust in the universe. And I don't have to be so down on myself for making tough decisions. That everything's going to be all right. Like maybe literally that one person giving you that coffee helps you understand and remember everything's going to be all right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get some clarification cards for you, Pile 1. Okay, Pile 1, these are your clarifying cards. Again, the way that you learn is Angel. It is helping those in need with no expectation in return. So I was talking about how people might randomly show up in your life and help you out or show you the way or just, lift you up in certain kinds of ways and just basically help you see your path and how, everything's okay and all right in the world. You don't have to worry. And again, I was also saying that you could also be this angel for other people. So basically take it as it resonates with you. But with these clarification cards, we have Six of Wands, Nine of Wands, High Priestess, and Two of Pentacles. I love this because I was also thinking when I thought about angel and helping those in need with no expectation of return. I was thinking about those people who basically volunteer, who basically like they just show up. Those people who just need to show up and help out here and there, and they do it and they never ask for anything back, and they just show up because they know it's the right thing to do, because they know that they are needed, they know that they are required, and they just do it. So you could be one of those people, or you could be someone who sees people like that and who really like appreciates them, puts them basically like on a pedestal. So I'm seeing for you, Pile 1, I was talking about people not necessarily being in your life like to hold your hand and show you the way, but kind of giving you glimpses. And I feel like there's a certain person or even a group of people that you see and you like really highly respect. They could literally be activists, like people that you want to be like and follow, because you see how they've gone through like these things they've like helped, and it seems like they went away and helped. Like they went far away to another country and helped out, or they helped the animals in Alaska when the oil spill happened, or they went to rescue somebody out in the country. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of scenarios I've seen, like heroism when it comes to volunteering with heroism, and I really feel like you see that. You see those people who are doing those hard things, like putting themselves out there, but not necessarily getting money back, but they are getting recognition and appreciation for what they do. And that is what you like. And that is teaching you that if you went that path, like if you went that path of helping people in need with no expectation of return, then you would also get some of that same kind of recognition and respect. And that's kind of what you're into. So that's a great teacher for you, because you're like, okay, these people, they're getting this recognition for doing these types of things. I too would like to do these types of things and receive this recognition because I'm an amazing person. Why not? And it's kind of showing you the pathway watching these certain types of people. So I see you seeing them being victorious, and I see you seeing them coming back from wherever they went and whatever job they have done, talking about it, sharing with other people, and like having those amazing stories to tell about how they've done some good in this world. And you're like, I want to do some good in this world too. And so you are trying to learn and figure out what it is that you can do some good in this world, so that you can come back and tell those same stories, and you can like basically be the type of person that you look up to and inspire to be. So these people you might not even have met in real life, that are inspiring you to be like this angel in other people's lives. They could be people you've read about or saw on TV, like that type of thing. People who have traveled, who have done some things, like really done some good for humanity. That's what you want to do. So you're studying them, you're understanding their path and the way that they walked and the things that they've done, but basically you're being inspired by them, and you're trying to figure out how to do it for yourself. Like, okay, how do I get out here? What are my skills that I can help, and what can I use to help further this cause, or what causes are important to me, and how can I mold and shape myself to be a person who is going to be able to assist others? Like, in what way can I assist people? Because you might not want to exactly do the same things that those people, those legends that you've been reading about, watching, hearing, and listening to have done, but you want that same kind of feeling that they have, like that, like accomplished feeling, like I've really done something good in this world. I've left behind a legacy, like that type of feeling. So you're trying to figure that out right now. And I think that is how you best learn. You need a goal in mind first. You need to kind of see it as well. Like, you need to see it in front of you. Maybe not it exactly, but an example, and kind of understand how it works, which is why I'm seeing that high priestess. And then you need to go and try it for yourself. But of course, when we try things, we're not 100% good at things at first. It takes learning, trial and error to figure out how to work things, how to do things, how to be something. How can you help someone if you don't really fully understand what it is they need? So you might have to spend more time in that location, or you might need to, do a little bit more background research if you're trying to help this animal or this plant or this beach. Like, there's so many things that you would need to learn first. But you see it first. You're like, I see this end goal. This is kind of what I want. But how can I get there? What do I need to do? And that's what you're figuring out right now. So, and it's helping you learn and grow, being able to see that, the type of energy that you would like to be in, the way that you would like people to look at you as well. I love it, pile one. All right, we're going to move on to pile two. Okay, pile two. This is the answer to your question, how do you best learn? We've got King. Enlightened, benevolent leadership benefiting those in your charge. I love it. So we know the king normally in is it fiefdoms? The king, he is gonna be the son of the previous king, who was the son of the previous king, who was the son of the previous king. So it's like something that's passed down, and that's what I'm feeling when it comes to the way that you learn. You will be somebody who best learns from having someone teach you and guide you, like literally it being your birthright. So of course that can be having, just like the king, having our fathers or our mothers, teach us. But honestly, I feel like you are somebody who just does really well in a teaching and learning environment. So going to school and going to college and getting the certifications, or the special technical learning. Like, you would need to go and someone sit and teach you. I mean, not that that's the only way for you to learn, but that's the best way for you to learn. And I don't know if you sat and listened to the introduction I did, but I was talking about how when I would start on my spiritual journey, I would have loved to know the best way that I learned, so I could understand how how I was receiving lessons and how I was learning the lessons from the things that I was going through. And for you, literally, you might just be taught these things. Like, if you're on your spiritual journey, of course, you can be learning book stuff, but you can also be learning spiritual things as well. So you can literally be someone who is enrolled in like school when it comes to what's it called? Minister school? I don't know what it's called. If you want to be a minister or pastor, you would go to that certain school. Or you would follow in your father's or mother's footsteps and be like the minister or pastor, preacher, or however you call it. You would go, is it missionary? You would go on the missions with the missionaries. Basically, you would be somebody who was getting taught, like, you were going to be surrounded by, you would basically grow up or be in an environment in which learning and having things passed down to you is common. So whatever environment that is, like that's how you best learn. So even when it comes to you learning your spiritual lessons, there's going to be people around you who are learning the same exact lesson. So y'all all might be together, like, in a class, quote unquote, a spiritual class, let's say, learning these lessons. And so if you notice people around you going through the same things as you, that's because they're part of your class. Like y'all are all in this together. You're all learning the lessons together. There is a teacher. So whomever it is kind of helping you get out of this. And it could literally be a parent being your teacher, or someone who is in that role, or the role of like someone who is in the role of teaching you, someone who is like a parent figure, a mother, father figure for you in your environment or your community. Those are the people who are teaching you, and they're really giving you, like, they may have gone through the same exact things as you, and they're just giving you those lessons. So that's kind of how you learn. Like you like getting taught, you like being surrounded like in that type of environment. Because think of a kingdom. What is a king if he doesn't have a kingdom? It's not a king. So you would have to be in a kingdom or a place in which learning in this way is common. Like it is the thing to do. So that's why I keep thinking like a university or a school, or even like some kind of like a retreat or something, like some place where you're able to like fully be immersed in learning and having a clear, strong teacher teaching you, like somebody whose job it is to do that. Okay, so pile 2, I'm going to go ahead and pick some clarifying cards for you. Right now, we're using this deck, this Caroline Miss Archetype card deck, but I'm going to switch over to using the Angel Wisdom Tarot and just get some clarification cards. All right, here's the clarifying cards. And look at all this major arcana we got up here. So we've got the Dreamer, Balance, Renewal, and the Two of Swords. Dreamer is the Fool, Balance is Temperance, and Renewal is Judgment. So, I told you, the best way that you learn is having a clear teacher, someone who is teaching you, basically like passing things down to you. But I think that's what teachers do. Because the king, he's the son of the king. Who is the son of the king? Who's the son of the king? Like that position, that title of king was already passed down just because of the way you were born. Boom, you're king. And that's what I feel. It's like you're getting this knowledge passed down to you, which is why the best place that you are going to learn is in places where people can pass things down to you. So, of course, in a classroom, of course, having your family and parents teach you, of course, taking classes and certifications. And then when it comes to like your spiritual journey, if you are doing this alone without anyone teaching you anything, I would highly recommend you reconsidering that and getting a teacher, someone who can pass things down to you. Of course, do your research before you get a teacher. Make sure that that teacher, like, you resonate with the things that they believe in, or they resonate with things that you believe in. Make sure it's a good alignment, because you're really just going to be getting things passed down to you. So that's how you best learn. And if we start over here with the Fool. The fool is just out here. The Fool does not really necessarily know anything, and he's not really trying to go off of his knowledge anyway. It's pure vibes that the Fool is moving and walking on, because he's at the beginning of his journey. He doesn't really know any better. He doesn't know. It's like, okay, you might want to check your intuition. No, the Fool is just out here, which is fine. It's a fine way to start. But then we've got Balance and Renewal. Again, that is Temperance and Judgment. 2 angels here. These are 3 major arcana cards. We have Archangel Zadkiel and Jeremiel. And honestly, because I feel these coming through for you, I just really feel like it's an exchange of energy between you and your teacher. Like, your teacher is giving you all of this information, but again, you are a own individual person. So that information, even though they gave it to you in a certain way, is not going to remain the same. It's always going to transform, because it is, if you were to speak the same thing that person said, it would just be different coming from your mouth, because you have lived and experienced different things. So I just feel like I see that transformation of information going on between you and your teacher, which is what I see when I see Temperance. And then when I see renewal, it's like a path and a process, because you were born into this. This is your birthright. So I would not be shocked or surprised at all if you wanted to be a teacher yourself, if you were already a teacher. But it's like the teacher becomes the student, becomes the teacher, it's that kind of pathway there, because again, it's their birthright. So if you ever had kids, it's like and your kids don't necessarily have to be people that you birthed or who were birthed from your DNA. They can just be people you are teaching. And so I really get this feeling of you being a student, and then that information gets transformed through you learning and then you regurgitating it, but it's not going to be the same. It will have changed, and it will be different. It will be better for you to teach it in the way that you would best like to teach it. And that is what we're getting from the renewal. It's like the information is going to come back around. It's like that cycle of teacher learn, or sorry, teacher student, teacher student. That's what I'm seeing here. But I do see here at the Two of Swords, I would call this the advice card. There's going to be a point at which I think this is what happens with all teachers and students. You have to take a step away from your teacher and do it your own way. Teach it your own way, from your own voice. And pile two, that may be where you are right now. You might be having doubts of like, can I do this? Like, my teacher's not here and my teacher taught it to me this way, but I am feeling called to do it a little bit differently, to teach differently, to like put it out there in a different way, to give different examples, to make it a little bit more modern. And I feel like this is your wake-up call to do that, because that's what happens to information. It never stays the same. If we think about the dictionary, even when I was a kid, certain words that we have in the dictionary right now, they would be like, that's not a real word. But in this day and age, it is, because it is a way to communicate a concept or a thing, what a thing is. So that means it's a word. Just because our forefathers would not have accepted it does not mean that it's not valid. Like, things change and we got to keep up with the changing times. And if you're feeling called to do that in your teachings, do it. Of course, in moderation. Like, just don't don't go through and change the whole curriculum. I think that there's this is my personal opinion, that there's something to be said about the things that have lasted and going through the test of time, but making things a little bit more modern, a little bit more easy for people to understand, like that your students to understand. I think that's perfectly valid to do. And you might be having some doubts about that. That's why I have the two. Well, I see the Two of Swords there. It's like a time, like a need to cut off so much from what your teacher has taught you and to kind of go your own path. Like, there's a need to do that there. Just know that it's okay. Like, it's what happens when things are passed down from ear to ear to ear. I mean, what do we call that? Telephone? They always change. Things change. Yeah, that's what I see for you, pal, too. You learn best from having a teacher, and I just really see that you're going to be a teacher, because that's just how the cookie crumbles. Because your father was a teacher, you're a teacher, and your son might be a teacher. Of course, that does not have to be how things are, but that's just what I see here in these cards. Only take it if it resonates with you. All right, we're going to move on to pile 3. All right, pile 3. So here's the answer to how you best learn, and we have Saboteur. It says, highlight your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Oh, pile 3, you and me are the same. So, pile 3, how do you best learn? The answer is the hard way. You need to go through it to really learn that lesson. It's going to be difficult for you to actually learn it unless you know, like, it's a thing, like something that you need to know. This picture has a woman. She's in a hot air balloon and she's got a needle. It looks like she's going to pop that thing. How do you know and trust that your fabric that you created to hold that hot air balloon is going to be safe until you pop it? You don't know. You got to try it out first. How do you know that you'll be able to survive a fall if you don't fall? How do you know that you can repair your hot air balloon in the air if you never had to do it? Like, you are that type of person who literally needs to go through it so you can grow through it, like to actually learn those lessons. And that's what I was talking about when I was doing the intro. I'm not sure if you heard it, but basically the reason I wanted to do this reading was because when I was first getting into my spiritual journey, I would have greatly benefited from knowing and understanding how it is that I learn. If I would have known that I needed to do things and go through things for me to actually get the lesson, then I think I would have understood better why I went through some of the things I went through. Because I'm telling you, I'm so much of this pile. I can sit there and read in the book all day and I think I understand the concept, but not until I actually do it. Not until I actually, do that calculus proof do I understand what it actually is saying to me. Not until I need to calculate this angle in real life. I'm like, oh, that's why we need this formula. Because how else are you going to get to this specific angle? Got it, got it, got it. Like, always, in school, I would need to have things applied to real life for me to truly get it. And it's the same for me when it comes to my spiritual journey. I can have these concepts all day. The concept of attraction, the concept of, energy, positive and negative, or like light energy versus heavy energy. Those concepts I can read about all day, but until I actually feel and experience and am able to differentiate it for myself, I don't actually learn the lesson. And a lot of the times, if people are like, "Oh, saboteur, that's bad," and I personally think you really know the lesson, because it's not a concept anymore. It is a real life thing that you have. You know for sure. You can like you have experience in this, and I think that's a super deep way of learning. So pile 3, I'm gonna get some clarifying cards for you. I did use this archetype card deck to get this saboteur card, and now I'm gonna use this deck, the Angel Wisdom Tarot, for some clarifying cards. Okay, pile 3, I was saying you learn the hard way, and you learn best the hard way. That is, the hard way, in my opinion, is just going through it. You would need to experience every single step of it. They can't tell you that A plus B equals C. You need to sit there and work it out for yourself. Like, you have to actually do the math. And in real life, that means you would need to live those experiences. So if people told you that it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, then you're going to need to love and lose. So, like, fall in love and then break up with somebody. And then be like, you know what? I'm glad I was in that relationship. They're right. Or, no, they're completely wrong. This was pointless. I should not have even gone through that. If they tell you that such and such is the best hairstylist out there, you wouldn't just go to that one hairstylist. You would have to try a bunch of the best. And you'd be like, you know what? I've done my research. And they're wrong. They're not the best hairstylist. But I understand why they would say that. Like, you would have more insight into the things, because you're not just taking anybody's word for it. You're not going to take the textbook's word, your teacher's word. You're not going to even take the universe's word. The universe might tell you this person's bad for you. You're going to be like, let me see. So pile 3, I super understand this energy. I love it for you, though, because this is going to be leading you to a rich life and leading you to understanding the things like that you like and don't like. You will clearly know, because you will have experienced those things. So we've got this Three of Wands, the Lovers, the Page of Cups, and Awakening, which is the Hangman. Love this. This depiction, I really just see this is you going on your own personal journey to understand the things that you are interested in. When it comes to a spiritual journey, I really feel like the spiritual journey is you becoming yourself, or you becoming more like yourself. You enjoying yourself while you're here on earth, while you're alive, basically. Like, you expressing yourself in the fullest way possible, in the youest way possible. And I feel like for you, pile 3, that is your spiritual journey. Like, other people have different goals when it comes to their spiritual journey, but for you, it feels like you just want to be yourself in the youest way possible. Which is what I'm saying about the Three of Swords and the Lovers. It's like, do I love this or do I not? Because if I don't, then I'm going to move on. If I do, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to find something else to add to it. It's like just kind of a way in which you are learning in this life how to be you and what you like. It's hard. It seems like it'd be hard for you to make the choice of, like, do I want this or do I want that? If you haven't experienced or tried both of those things, or if you haven't, like, at least looked deeper into them, other than seeing them and contemplating them, but like more, like, you wouldn't be able to look at 2 cakes. You would have to taste the cakes and maybe even understand what the ingredients are in the cakes before you could decide which one you liked. But when you go to a store, you can't take stuff. You have to be like, okay, I want this one. It would be hard for you to make that decision. When it comes to big life decisions, you would need to try it a bit. And that's what I see from this Page of Cups. It's like, it says inexperienced, but your perception of inexperience is going to be different than somebody else's. Like, it's kind of like a I know, or what is it? All or nothing. There we go. All or nothing type thing. Like either I know this thing and I understand this thing, or I don't know anything. There's levels to this, but you don't really see it like that. For example, let's see. What's something that people do? Basketball. You either would be great at basketball or you would feel like you're inexperienced. You either want to be at the top of the top or you just think that you're inexperienced. And because of that mindset, it would lead you to do great things in whatever field or orientation that you would like to do those things, because you are never going to believe that you are at the top of the level until you cannot climb anymore. And so you're always going to be trying to learn more and do more, get even deeper so that you can have a full understanding of that thing. So like even if we're talking about a sport like basketball, you want to understand the top guys, you know, like Kobe, like how is it that he's able to be so good? Let me understand that, and what attributes does he have that I would need to look into getting, and what types of plays does he make? What types of things does he do when he's trying to go to the goal? Like what types of, I don't know, tricks. I'm not sure. I'm not a basketball person, but you would be trying to study that and understand that. And you would be trying to move yourself to see if you're able to do that. Otherwise, you would feel that you were inexperienced. And you could be really good already, but no, I'm not. I'm not as good as Kobe. I'm not at the top, so I'm inexperienced. And then at the end over here, we have awakening, which is the hanged man. It's so interesting because this is how you view life. The hangman looks at things in a different way. He's not upright. He's able to see things from a different viewpoint, a unique viewpoint, let's say. So in a way in which others are not able to see. And it's honestly just because of the way that you like to learn and understand things. Again, it's not like you're going to look at those two cakes that are in the grocery store. You are going to try them both and then decide which is your favorite. You know, I feel like some people, they just are so used to eating this one cake, like this is my favorite, but have you tried all the other flavors? How do you know? So you're gonna be more like, you just have a whole completely different experience of life than other people, and because of that you're gonna be more in depth. So you might be a really intense person too, but that's how you learn. You learn by contrast. Let's say you learn by study, and like you might study it but you need to do it as well, so you would fully immerse yourself into that thing. You learn by experience. And so you're going to be open to more experiences, especially if it's something that you're very much interested in, because you're not here to just, I don't know, walk through life casually accepting things. You want to get down to the root of things and understand and know them. And to do that, in your case, you would need to do them, or to feel them, or taste, smell, see, like all of that. You need to fully immerse. All right, pile 3, that is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next one.